This is a test donation for $1. This is a test donation for $1.
Hit that like button. Least we can do is hit the like button, because this is going to be a college level course on socializing for introverts. Time to get it going. Is he used to phone? You just down. Welcome back. Let the crowd get in. We are still about a minute ahead of time, but I just felt like going ahead and getting started. It's Friday. Hit the like button, folks. And I need you guys to answer the question. No. You got to pick one. You got to pick one group. Of the 4 settings, which of these 4 settings is most difficult for you? Pick one. I didn't say 2. Y'all gonna have to follow instructions. Bunch of knuckleheads. Bunch of knuckleheads over here, man. Pick one. So but you knew me so much better. All right, we're actually going to have a chance to come up on the panel today, too. So, moderators, don't time out anybody unless they are directly rude to me. What you do is you remove the comment. I'll respond. Let me time people out and block folks. Yeah, you let me respond to them. This dude put in this thing, large groups with fake alphas and hoes. Where are you socializing at? The gutter? What are some of y'all's problems, man? Sound like some of y'all, their bigger problem is where the hell you go. Where do you go that has fake alphas and hoes? Where do you go that has fake alphas and hoes? That says more about you, bro. Says more about you than anything else. I go to places with fake alphas and hoes. You need to get out the damn car wash, man. I'm going to the, JJ's Chicken and Fish. You like these glasses? These glasses, check out the yellow lenses. So I got the yellow so I can wear them tinted on the indoors. Dope. I'm gonna teach y'all something real quick before, as we get started. 3, 4, 5.
Paying that tuition paying forward. I owe you an email as soon as the signs.
Appreciate it, Albert. That's my dog out in Boston. Albert is a good guy. For sure, Albert is a good man. See, I know for a fact, a lot of you guys out there are good, solid dudes, man. I've met you. I've talked to you. I see you guys when I get out on MIT. And I know a lot of guys just need a little bit of coaching, a little training. But what I want to do first, before we get into it, one of the videos I made, I need you guys to check out just what a quick change of lens, change of the color of lenses will do. Indoor yellow, That green. Change the game, man. Change the game. Change the game. Um, yeah, I love my frame collection. I love my frame collection because it draws people to you. Like these, forget about it. Game over with these. Game over. All right. But let's get into the program. More on that another day. More on that another day. Why does this look blurry? Is anybody else having problems with the screen looking kind of blurry on their side? Does the screen look blurry on anybody else's side? Doesn't look blurry on Zoom. Zoom is looking rather clear. Zoom is looking rather clear. So, hey, let's get into it. All right. There's a question in the chat room. Nah, not today. There's a question in the chat room that I need every one of you guys to answer. Of the 4 situations, which do you have the most problems with? Crowds. Cool. Is cool on your side? That's good. If it's cool on your side, I'm good with it. Of the 4 settings, which do you find most difficult? Crowds, large groups and parties, small groups, one-on-one. And for the most part, what I think I saw is most of the people who responded have a problem in large groups and parties. I'm also going to assume that that the people who have these issues probably are introverts. Now, you only pick one. Pick one. See, we got to be specific. You can't just say all the above. That's not going to help you. It's like going to a doctor's office. What seems to be bothering you today? Everything. All right. Large groups and parties. Here's the thing. That's usually for introverts or INFJ kind of people. Introverts, and here's the thing. A lot of times guys think because they're introverted that the rules of life don't work. It's like, well, I'm an introvert, so I'm just meant for less. I'm not an outgoing person. The thing is, it's tricky, but it's normal for large groups to make introverts feel uncomfortable. And here's the thing: you're going to need some time alone to decompress. Versus people like myself, I love groups and parties. The thing about a lot of introverts is you're empathic and you like to help folks. So here is the trick. So what we need is some tips and tricks to help you guys learn how to build your own network, build and navigate your network, and how to socialize in different settings with different people. Now, what we're going to talk about is we got to split this up in a couple of things. 1, personal. 2, professional. Personal association, professional association, 2 different things. When I'm at work, when I'm going to my BNI meetings or Salesforce.com training and meetings or anything dealing with business is a different vibe and flow than my personal life. Like tonight, when I'm going out, I'm going to be out on town tonight. And then I got a concert coming up. Different thing. So I need you guys to put it in the chat room. How often a month are you going out? Gentlemen, how often a month are you going out? Ladies, if you're in the chat room, hey, how you doing? 166 people watching. Guys, let's get the likes up over 100. Get the likes up over 100 so I can keep it going. I'm going to just say this already. I appreciate you guys showing up. Hit the like button. That's your admission. If you like these kind of streams, if you like these kind of things where I actually teach practical tips and tricks to actually help you become more well-rounded as a man. Show your appreciation by dropping something in super chat. Um, dropping something in super chat. I mean, and use the link that I placed there. At bare minimum, you should become a patron of the channel. Here's the thing, or if you want to use Cash App, there's Cash App. I prefer you guys use Cash App or PayPal Direct or something like that, because that way, if you want 100% of your donation to come here, that's what you do. All right. Somebody said they go out 10 times. I don't believe that. Said at least 5 times. 1 to 2 times, 6 times, at least 10. If you're going out that many times a month, and for the guys who said they're going out over 5 times a month, are you having problems building and maintaining a network? What up? I go out once a week with the wife, once or twice a month with the fellas. Yeah, see, I need to know where the problem issues are, because it's one thing to go out a lot. It's another thing to go out and actually socialize. What I find is a lot of guys are actually going out, being around people, but they're not actually talking to people, making connections, and actually building their network. That's what I want to focus on. Actually, being more social isn't just about being around people. It's not what it is. It's being social is also not about pleasing other people around you. You know, being social is about building your network of people so you become top of mind for all good things in life. Let's just say, like Brother Albert just came in here. He has his own personal side business. Getting out socializing is going to be a benefit to somebody like that. If I decided I need the product or service he's selling, if all of a sudden when I thought, you know what, I need to buy this widget, and if I thought of Albert, or somebody says, oh, you need a widget? Albert, I know a good guy, his name is Albert. That's the benefit. See, just getting out, talking to people, that does have a benefit, but it's a low-level benefit. The real benefit is when you're out and about talking with people, socializing, and people have a good opinion of you, and they actively talk about you when you're not there. Okay? It's not about building a magnet. It's much more than getting a card and getting a phone number. It's much more about maintaining. Case in point, as a business person, when people find out I'm an image consultant, one of the first questions people ask me is, "Oh, you're an image consultant? Do you have a card?" And I say, yes, but here's the question. If I give it to you, are you going to actually book an appointment within the next 30 days? No. I'm like, then why do you need my card? See, I don't just give out my business cards willy-nilly. I learned this when I was in sales. People often ask you for information. Hey, give me your card. Hey, give me this, give me that. Why do you need it if you're not going to plan to use it? However, if you ask for it, let's make a plan for you to use it. See, let's talk about when I went out, when I met, you guys saw me on Instagram and I met the young lady. I said, hey, are you married? No. You engaged? No. Good, I can flirt with you. Oh yeah, I'm single. Yeah, okay. Let's see what we can do to change it. Here. Put your number in here. Put a number in here that you're going to answer on the first call. You have to set the expectation when you're going out. You got to make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. Why are you going out? Why are you going out? First things first, there's no right way to put yourself out there. This is all trial and error. And it's okay if you're not hitting all the popular spots and all that kind of stuff. More than anything, you need to understand this. When you go out, you're not obligated to meet anybody else's expectations other than your own. But why are you going? Why are you doing it? Are you doing it for professional reasons? Are you doing it for personal reasons? Are you doing it for romantic reasons? What? Get clear. Stephen, do me a favor. It's Kevin. He says sometimes people need time to incubate an idea. No, 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 Stephen, they don't. You know whether or not you're going to go in your, you know whether or not you're going to actually take, if you're going to pay for something. See, what I understand is buyers are liars. You know whether or not just because, why do you need my card just to have on file? You can easily go online and find me. Trust me. Trust this, dude. I spent 25 years in corporate sales. I know better than most. Make sure you're going out to socialize for the right reason. And that's the problem. You got to go out with a plan. See, that's part of why I focus on why image is so important. When you go out of the house, you need to look like somebody that someone wants to meet or deal with. Do you look like somebody? When you leave the house, do you look like somebody that movers and shakers and the kind of people you want to associate with would want to deal with? That's the real question. Do people who you would want to meet, would they want to meet you? You got to have a plan. Then you have to understand where to go. Like somebody came in and said, I have a problem going to places where they got fake alphas and hoes. I don't have that problem because I don't go to those places. I go to places to facilitate what I'm trying to get done. I go to places to help with the outcomes. Okay. All right. So let's say you know why you want to get out, you know your purpose. Then the first thing is you're outside. You're outside of the place. You got to start up a conversation. How many? So here's the question. Are you comfortable with starting up conversations with strangers 90% of the time? 90% of the time, are you comfortable with starting up conversations with strangers? Are you comfortable with starting up conversations with strangers 90% of the time? Put yes or no. Kashmir, you don't have to welcome everybody into the stream, fam. Start to clog the chat and I can't see. Phil says no. Fury says yes, yes, no. Easily is not an answer. Yeah. Good stuff, Edmund. No.
I went to a real estate investor meeting Wednesday dressed with blazer jeans, Magnani, and passed my cards around. Got 2 new buyers.
Somebody said in this antisocial society, society is not antisocial. I don't buy the society's antisocial. Your views may be antisocial. See, we got to stop that. Stop projecting what your view on everything. I socialize every day. When I go outside, I see people talking and interacting with people. So maybe you see it. But no, let's stop that. Yes, no, no, no. So here's what I'm seeing. It's about 50-50. 50%. Okay, this is a good answer. Yes, providing I'm not around people who make me anxious. People can't make you anxious. You make yourself anxious. You are 100% responsible for your feelings. So what I saw roughly is 50% of people are comfortable with starting up a conversation. If you're not comfortable with starting a conversation, you got work to do. It is not the world's responsibility to build you a network. It's not the world's responsibility to bring opportunity to your door. You are a man. It is your responsibility to go out and assert. Confident, intelligent, and assertive. If you type no, you got a problem that you need to address immediately. Thank you, Pam. You have a problem that you need to address immediately. Because if you don't, you will forever have a non-existent or a small, ineffectual network. It does no good to be in an NFL it does no good to have an NFL franchise if you're 1 in 15. Start up the conversation. Now you need to, so if you're not good at striking up a conversation, this is where you need a communications coach. You need to learn how to make small talk. You're not going to learn it by watching YouTube videos. You're not going to learn it by reading books. You need to work with somebody who can talk to you one-on-one, look you in the face, and actually role play this stuff with you. Understand something. On this channel, we've already talked about personal development. If you're not willing to invest about $10,000 into your personal development, you're in the wrong place. It is going to require input, effort, and money to improve. I look at it as it would be crazy not to do it, especially if you already went to college and have certifications. You already went in college debt. You need to go into debt to get better. Starting up a small talk, the magical art of how to strike up a conversation. Main thing, this is the main problem. The biggest fear most people have is public speaking. You need some icebreakers. Some things you generally say to a stranger, like, what are some great shows you recently binge watched? What was the last place you traveled and what did you like about it? Don't just say, how are you? If you're at a party, hey, how do you know the host? But you need to write down some icebreakers and practice them and memorize them. Okay? All right. Got 176 people watching. Let's get the likes up. How you approach people and start a conversation is going to massively dictate how well you build your social circle. You fumble the initial approach or communication. See, guys, we're used to learning how to talk about how to approach a woman, but you got to approach guys too. You have to approach people. When you approach people, are you friendly? Are you relaxed? Are you maintaining good positive masculine frame? Are you making eye contact? Are you actually, with a man, offering a handshake? With a woman, are you breaking the touch barrier? Do you look like a man who's confident, smooth, sophisticated, and in charge? Do you smell good? All these things come to a point when you actually say, hey, what brings you here? How do you know the host? When you look with someone, when you talk to somebody, is there a lightness and a smoothness in your voice? See, far too often, a lot of guys are really unsure of themselves, and then they go to speak, and it's a hey, you need we need to remove the words duh, just relax, take a deep breath, breathe, and go. All right, 177 people watching. Understand something. When you go to make small talk with somebody, remember, it's not a test. They're not really there to judge you. Ask a question and then share something about yourself. So let's say, where's the last place? Hey, where's the last place you traveled? What'd you like about it? Oh, New York City, Manhattan. What'd you like about it? Oh, yeah. The shopping, great. Hey, then share something about yourself. I'm from Oklahoma, and we don't have anything like that up in Oklahoma, but I have been to Manhattan. I've lived there for actually 3 years. Yeah. Now we're relating. Small talk Ask a question, open-ended question, let them respond, share something about yourself. This is a skill. This is a skill that you can actually practice. If you want to practice if you want to work on your communications, learn how to become a more effective communicator on the personal level, there's the link. On the, I'm sorry, and on the professional level, here's the link. Business small talk and professional small talk is a skill that can get you promotions, make you more money, make your job easier. It is different than personal small talk, especially when you start talking about dealing with women inside and outside of the workplace. All right. Next, you need to become a good listener. Becoming a good listener is a skill. Active listening is a skill. Today, let's look on YouTube and you'll see on panels, people are talking over themselves. Da, 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 da. One of the skills I learned as a salesperson is active listening, sitting back, listening. If you notice, when I get on panels, I sit back, I listen, I look and I listen. I listen past the point to want to speak. Because what? It allows somebody to feel heard. It actually helps you build rapport. People like people who listen to them. People like people who see them. Become a good listener and use a person's name when you're speaking to them. I've talked about that before. You can practice active listening by being curious and seeking to understand where the person is coming from. Look, I practice this often. I don't have to like your point of view. I just want to understand where you're coming from. And people subconsciously like people who don't interrupt them, who they feel like they are not looking over them, that kind of stuff. When you're listening to somebody, keep some certain questions in your mind, like what's important to this person? What are they excited to share? What do they value? Let me say the other thing. What's important to this person? But when you get to that next one, what's important for them? What are they excited to share? You and I can be sitting around talking about a lot of things. But when I start talking about fragrances, I perk up. Appreciate it, Andrew. When I start talking about fragrances, man, I perk up. When I start talking about a certain aspect of style or image, I perk up. When I start talking about helping men become the best version of themselves and transforming and reinventing themselves, I perk up. How many men want to reinvent themselves in 2020? If you want to reinvent yourself in 2020, type reinvent in the chat room, caps, all caps. If you want to reinvent yourself in 2020, type reinvent, because that's the beautiful thing. You can reinvent yourself no matter where you are. Then that means you can reimagine your life and have what's left be the best it's ever been. If you want to reinvent yourself, type reinvent. There you go. Type reinvent. That's right. Type reinvent, and I want you to say it 3 times where you are right now. Put it into the universe. I want to reinvent myself in 2020. I'm going to reinvent myself this year. I'm going to reinvent myself this year. Tell the universe what you expect and let the universe align to help you out. If you've been following me, you noticed that in 2019, I said I'm moving. I said I'm moving. I just don't know where. I said I'm moving. I did not know where. I threw out some potential cities, but guess what? Like that, I was in Atlanta. Hey, young Kev, what's going on, man? Second semester up there. Hope it's all going well. All right, become a good listener. Becoming a good listener is another one of these tools. Okay. Your godfather's about. I'm about to channel Velvet Jones. Excuse me. We got my inner Velvet. Look here. He's the image consultant. I'm the smooth talking player. Look here, man. Let me tell you. That active listening stuff the cuz talks about is one of my biggest player moves. When I love to actually look a woman in her eye when she's talking because she will tell you everything you need to close her. I love to listen to when I'm out, doing what I do. People will tell you everything you need if you just give them a chance. Everything. Appreciate it, Mr. Medina. People will tell you everything you need if you just give them a little chance. I forgot some psychiatrist or some smart person said that no human being can keep a secret. Allow them to talk. Allow them to talk and ask them questions about themselves. Another thing, he over there, I taught him this. Give compliments freely. Give compliments freely. When in doubt, say something kind. When in doubt, say something nice. See, I know a lot of people talking about hey man, I compliment people. I compliment women. I don't go overboard with it. But ooh, you smell incredible. Oh, you're so cute. You're so cute. I just had to come over. Look, you're so cute. I had to just come over and introduce myself. I'd have kicked myself. I didn't come over and say hi. Your name is? When in doubt, say something kind, especially in this world where everybody's on screens. Say somebody's name and say something kind. Just notice something. Just notice something. The right words at the right time can make somebody's day significantly better and can also open the door to conversation. You want to be the kind of guy that people would like to see coming and hate when you leave. And they can't wait to see you return. Give compliments. That's why cuz always focus so much on fragrances that smell good and compliment monsters. Because compliments make the world go round. Compliments makes things shake, baby. Telling a coworker you enjoyed their presentation or letting someone know how much they mean to you or how much you like, even something simple as how much you like their shirt. But make sure here's the thing about giving a compliment. You got to make sure it's genuine. You got to make sure it's real. You got to be sincere, man, because people don't like to feel like they're being buttered up. People have a sixth sense about, when somebody's saying something that don't feel right. It's like seeing a really, really overweight woman say, hey, what's going on, little mama? You sure looking good. So you got to learn how to give that compliment. Give them freely. All right. Transfer back. All right. Here are a few steps for paying somebody a compliment. Pay attention to what you genuinely like about a person and mean what you say. Look here, man. Even a broke clock is right twice a day. And if you can't find something you genuinely like about a person, you got a problem. You got a problem. Look, like their glasses, like their shoes, like their fingernails, like the way they smell, something. You should genuinely be able to find one thing you like about a person and say it sincerely. Right? Number 2, don't be obnoxious. Notice small things that make somebody unique. So that your words kind of stand out. See, it's easy to look at somebody wearing a fur coat and being like, that's an amazing fur coat. But if you see somebody has a unique pin or a brooch or something, look at that. Details. Avoid platitudes and cliches. Don't say the same thing about everyone or compliment them on their physical appearance. Instead, focus on personality qualities. And see, here's the thing. When a woman especially, let me tell you something. If you like to deal with beautiful women like I do, saying, hey, telling a woman she's beautiful. Come on, man. We deal with beautiful women. You don't think of beautiful, she's only heard that 10 times today. She's only heard it 20 times. But she's probably never heard, you know what? I like the way you say the word, I like the way you say the word lobster. What? Say something uniquely you. Don't just compliment a beauty, because beautiful, let me tell you something. Beautiful women are the easiest women to deal with because most guys are too intimidated to approach them. And when they do come up to them, they say something stupid or crass or just obvious. You know, over here, Blake Henry, the CIA gentleman, we're completely different. Next, if you want to build up a social circle dealing with people, you got to get involved. You got to get involved. Participate in activities that can help you alleviate feelings of inadequacy when meeting new people, especially if you just moved to a new community. What did I tell you? I'm moving to Atlanta, and y'all gonna see me become the man about town. I'm always out. I've recently enrolled in cooking classes, uh, salsa lessons. I'm getting plugged into the local art scene. I don't really know much about art or photography, but I'm going to learn. I'm going to learn. I'm going to a concert on Tuesday. As the spring comes, I'm going to get plugged into the local music scene. I'm getting plugged in. Give you a lot to talk about. Okay. Plus, you already know one thing you have in common with when you get involved, you already know you got one thing in common. Sterling, imagine you go to a Tuscan cooking class and there's 16 people there, and you're there for 4 hours. Well, guess what? These 16 people, 12, 13 of them are going to be women. You're there for 4 hours, and guess what? You got one thing to talk about, how much you like cooking or cooking classes. Never have. All these things are investments in you. Don't think about how much these things cost. Think about the return on investment you get. See, I don't think about a cooking class cost me $79. I think for $79, I get to go meet 15 people, get to learn how to make this unique dish, get to learn how to use these knives and skills and plate and all that other kind of stuff. And then anything that comes out of that, I don't know. I may meet I may make a contact in the market. I may meet, you just don't know. You don't know. So when I go, I'm excited to go because I'm like, wow, what could happen? Do you feel that? You come in excited because you're like, wow. And then you come in smelling like Nasamato Pardon or Rolling in Love or any other stuff I ever, tell you about. You can't really get these, but these are dope ones from La Lobo. You come in and they're like, oh, who's that guy in that black turtleneck and them nice jeans with the little hey tender girl. Tender and Bumblebee blowing up on the weekend. Your godfather is in demand around this month. You realize how much that little bracelet right there started conversations? Okay. All right. So we're halfway through. Get involved. Next, host a monthly brunch. Host something. Yes, host something. Invite friends and family over, make a special meal, take some time to meaningfully engage each other. Host a monthly brunch. This is a great idea to show off skills that you recently learned at these cooking classes, to talk to the people who are in your life. And you can do this in your personal life or in your professional life. In your professional life, you can host a lunch and learn. A lunch and learn was one of the tricks I used often in corporate America. I would say, I want to learn how to be a better presenter. I want to learn how to do this better. I would invite people who would obviously doing it better than me. And I say, I'll cater lunch in. Let's all get together on the first Wednesday of every month and let's just talk. You know what happened when I did? The managers were like, what's going on here? Oh, I'm hosting a lunch and learn. We're going to learn how to present and close this better. Oh, really? And management saw that like, you know what? That's a good idea. That person's a go-getter because they see 7 to 10 of their employees all huddled up in lunch together, talking and smiling. That does more good for you professionally than you could ever imagine. All right, that tip right there, man, somebody got to donate on that one. That one right there is money. Money. When am I seeing Tool? I'm seeing Tool on Tuesday. I'm telling you, that one right there, because you assert, you separate yourself from your peers. You show leadership. You show that you're willing to do things for others. And you show you're not cheap, man. Also, when you're building up your social circle, you've met somebody out and about, you've exchanged information, you got people's IG contact, pick up the phone and make a date. That's right. I know that's crazy, but pick up a phone and make a date. Don't just sit there quiet. Pick up a phone and call. Pick up a phone and do something. I know it's amazing today because so many people think texting is the way to do it, but picking up a phone does more than anything else. Picking up a phone separates you from everybody else, and then you get right down to it. You get right down to it. Pick up a phone, make the date. Next, chat with strangers. Chatting with strangers is one of the easiest ways to
Good stuff.
appreciate it. Chatting with strangers is one of the easiest ways to becoming more social on your own terms because it's at your pace. You know, start up a spontaneous conversation with your barista at Starbucks, or the next time you order your latte, or ask your neighbor how their day is going. So this is why I say use opportunities when somebody's serving you or helping you. If you eat out at lunch and dinner, you need to say that person's name. Talk to people in line. I'm always chatting with strangers. Wherever I go, if I'm in with people, hey, how you doing? Good. Keep it moving. All right. And last on this list is sign up for a class. Sign up for a class. First step to meeting people is exposing yourself in an engaging environment. Yeah, come on. The first step to meeting new people is exposing yourself to new people in an engaging environment. You don't want to, it's hard to meet new people when you go to like a lounge because there may be a lot of people there, but the music's playing. You can barely hear yourself. Step outside your comfort zone and look for available classes that you've been dying to try, some things that'll spark your interest. I already talked about some things the other day. This allows you a chance to expand and exercise your skills. So take advantage of a painting class or cooking class. Spark up a conversation while you wait for the class to start. You'll often find it's easier to talk to other people who share interests. And see, guys, it's little stuff like this. This is even for the introverts. This is even for the introverts. So I gave you tips for when you're in crowds. When you're in crowds, talk about what you're there for. You're at a concert, talk about why you're going to see Tool. How long have you liked Tool? What's your favorite album? What's your favorite song? Large groups and parties. Hey, how do you know the host? Where's the last place you went on vacation? What do you like about it? You know, typical small talk. Um, Small groups. That's the whole lunch and learn. Be more engaging, more inviting. But here's the problem a lot of people tend to have. One-on-one. One-on-one is where most people tend to have a lot of problems. Tend to have a lot of problems. How many of you guys have problems one-on-one? How many of you guys have problems one-on-one? How many of you guys have a problem? You see the kind of woman, you see the woman who's very attracted to you. She gives you choosing signals. She looks at you, smiles, looks down, and looks up. Go. Do you stop what you're doing and approach her? This is what one-on-one is. Are you Would you approach that woman 100% of the time? What percentage of the time would you approach that woman? That's one-on-one. See, when you're approaching somebody one-on-one, this is the big one because you don't have any deflections. You're out there. You have to approach. You say, I'm actually better one-on-one than in groups. Well, you got to work because groups is still part of life. See, this is where we got to work on this. The problem is one-on-one is where a lot of guys tend to fail because because you haven't built up your tolerance for rejection. Number one. Number two, because something has happened in your past that's made you fearful. Appreciate it, Mr. Allen. Something happened in your past that's made you fearful. So you got to actually address those things and realize that the past does not predict the present. You got to give people a chance to be nice. Something bad happened. It didn't work, but you got to give new people a chance. They didn't do it. When you approach somebody one-on-one, if you like what you see in the mirror, if you follow what I tell you, frames, fragrance, and footwear, fit over fashion, quality over quantity, get your mind right. If you like what you see in the mirror, you got to realize that, you know what? They're getting a benefit just by having an opportunity to meet a guy like you. Give them that opportunity. You got to give them that opportunity and realize that the goal is in one-on-one interactions, it's just to make the interaction. It's not to get a number. It's not to get laid. Stop putting all this pressure on stuff. Let life happen. You said rejection killed me early in life, bitter and fearful. How old are you? How old are you? Because when I hear somebody say rejection killed them early in life, 32, no, I can't accept that. Here's the thing. All right. How many of you guys have a problem, can relate to what Jay is talking about? Let's do some round table. I got a little time. Let's do some round table. Let's do some round table. I'm going to put the link in the box. You can come up and we can chop it up for about 5 minutes. See if we can work through some of these things. You don't have to get on the camera if you don't want to, but I do want to kind of talk through it because I think a lot of times the answer is a hell of a lot quicker, a lot closer than most guys think. So there you go. If you're having a problem with rejection or one-on-one, approaching people, making small talk, let's go through it. Let's see what we can do. Let's see. Yeah, Jay, there's a link. Hit the link, man. Hit the link. JB, hit the link, man. No more typing in the chat room. See, what I find is for every guy, for everyone that is having real issues, a lot of times guys are just quit or giving up. You made mountains out of molehills, and allowing yourself to feel sorry for yourself is not going to change anything. It's not going to help you. These are first world problems. No offense, but these are first world problems. This woe is me. My family didn't do this, or My friends didn't do this. This is woe is me. If you actually had to get up and hunt for your food, get clean water, keep yourself safe, if you really had real world survival problems. So a lot of this stuff is guys feeling sorry for themselves. Not saying it didn't hurt, but so what? You gotta keep moving. It's not life. You weren't diagnosed with a life-threatening illness. You weren't given 6 months to live. These are your feelings. And oftentimes, especially like when JB's situation, he said early in life, that means it happened a long time ago. How long is something like that going to hold you back? How long are you going to allow? Like I've talked to guys who were self-professed incels who tell me that they were incel. Appreciate it, Mr. Thomas. Tell me that they're incels because a girl they had a date with in 10th grade stood them up. Girl that they had a date with in 10th grade stood them up. This person was 35 years old. 20 years ago, a girl he had a date with stood him up. See, what you also notice is oftentimes when challenged, they run, they duck, they hide. They don't want, they'll gorge on videos and gorge on content. But when it's time to actually do something, to talk about it,
Everything you do. Any young guy watching, invest in yourself by working with Uncle Kid because it all pays off.
there you go. See, that's what it really comes down to is we all have our reasons, but reasons can't be excuses. No, the fear is real. Let me, all right. Now it's time for me to, now it's time for things your father should have taught you. It's time for me to take my belt off in love. When I hear a 21-year-old guy talking about fear of rejection, you need your ass whooped. You need your ass whooped. This is why I need you guys to get into some sort of martial arts, boxing. You need to be punched in the face. You need to be reminded of what life is. This is what happens when boys are raised by a lot of women and effeminized. You become a bunch of grass-eating lions. You need to be kicked real hard, punched real hard. So somebody can remind you what real pain is. So you can understand how to get up off the canvas because all this emotional, my feelings are hurt at 21 years old. Get over it. You don't have any problems. You're not missing any meals. And a lot of you guys, most of you guys are sitting on $1,000 smartphones looking for answers when the answer is grab your balls and be a man. Get up on the horse and try again and keep trying and get up, fall, fail better and try again versus falling and saying well, I fell. Sorry, that's not going to do it. Get your ass up and try again. I don't know if it's me or what, but women don't respect me. You have a black avatar. Why should women respect you? You have a black avatar. Why should women respect you? Women don't owe you any respect. The world doesn't owe you anything. And honestly, the way a lot of you young guys talk, you're getting exactly what you put out. These are conversations I never had growing up, so I'm grateful for. But the thing is, a lot of guys actually need a father to tell you, shut up. You're gonna do it because I said. See, mama nurtures. Mama kisses your boo-boo. Mama tells you it's gonna be all right. Daddy says, uh-uh. You're my son, and you're gonna have to get out here and learn how to compete. I'm listening to a guy who studies 21. How are you gonna get out here and compete in the world at 21 and 22 if you're all in your head with these first world problems? I'm not, and I'm not coming from an insensitive standpoint, but I'm telling you what the world is. You got to get out here and compete. You got to get out here and do your part. Nobody's going to sit here and mentally massage your feelings of inadequacy because you refuse to try again. No, Jay, see, is that's my problem. Not you. No, that's not your problem. It's not your problem. That's what that is. Honestly, what you just said, I'm gonna be real, dude. When I hear guys that say stuff like that, it's a way of making yourself feel superior. You treat other people with courtesy, but people need to earn respect. Random women don't owe you anything except courtesy. All right. So, all right. So I see. Thank you. The tiger catches 1 out of 21. I'm on the hunt and recycling my life. That's the thing. So I say it again. If you haven't tried 21 times, I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear it. You got to get in sales. A 20% closing ratio puts you in the top 10% of sales. To be in the Hall of Fame in baseball, hitting roughly 3 out of 10 will do it. Every 3 times you get up, you just get a hit. That'll put you in the Hall of Fame. Why do you guys expect such? I don't know why, but you got to change the way you look at stuff. That's why I said nature. Get in there and learn martial arts, get in the ring and have to square off with somebody. Stop playing the video games and get in there and understand what it actually means to have to fight. You get in there, you got an opponent. That opponent knows what you know. He's skilled too. You got to control your fear. You got to control your breathing. This is when everything comes into play. You're going to try to hit him, but guess what? When you throw a punch, you open yourself up. You throw a punch, you open yourself up. So if you throw a punch and you drop your hand, you open yourself up to counter. So you got to learn how to throw a punch to keep yourself closed. Well, guess what? You got to take some hits. You got to take some hits. You got to take some hits to know what to do. You got to take some hits to learn how to do some footwork. You got to decide, you know what? Maybe this guy is stronger than me, but you know what? I'll give up a shot here to deliver one here. I had a guy who actually left my Kung Fu school and went to study Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And he came back talking all this crap about how weak Kung Fu was compared to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And MMA was so great. And I was like, you're full of shit. Anyway, he's like, well, let me show you. He said, let me show you this. And he said, let's drop down on the ground. Let me show you this. And he got me in this ankle lock. He's like, now I got you in the ankle bar. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do if I had you like this? And I reached over and I stuck my thumb right in his eye, right here. And I put my hand on the back of his head, right here. And I said, I'm going to do this. He's like, what? You can't do that. I'm like, yeah, I will give you an ankle for 2 eyes any day. But it's not fair. I'm like, no. See, all you expected was it to go one way. You want it to be one way. But it's that other way. Marlo, The Wire. See, you got to be able to understand life is about rejection. It ain't how many times you get knocked down, it's how many times you can get up. Rocky 5. A lot of you young guys got knocked down and you never got back up. Guess what? That could become a lifelong condition. I deal with guys who have been knocked down and allowed it to happen, and they've stayed down until their 40s or 50s. So, anywho, that last part was a extension. So, how many of you guys found this helpful? How many of you guys found the basic information helpful? If you find it helpful, let me know. And also, I want to know if you're going to do it. Are you going to do it? Because information is only as good as the application. Knowing where a treasure is buried is meaningless if you don't plan on digging. What good's knowing something if you ain't gonna do anything about it? All right, let me get into I gotta get up out of here. I got the super chats. Let me see what we got here. Collection plate. Cool. All right. So there we go. So I missed the first 25 minutes, but this video you've been waiting for. Outstanding wisdom. I get the shovel. I did. Great stream. Cool. This was actually a Patreon request. So if you missed it, the rebroadcast will be available on Patreon. You see, very helpful. Taking notes in these streams. Got to implement a few things. The main thing is, guys, understand something. If you didn't learn this stuff when you're growing up from a father, you're going to have to hire a coach. Taking notes and watching videos, great. But if you want to make real progress, especially speed up the learning curve, you got to pay for a learning curve. How much for a request? I don't know what that means. I don't know what how much for a request means, but I raised by a single mom. I hear you. Yeah. If you're raised by a single mother, you need help now. Especially if you're out and about and you're working, man. I mean, I was raised by a single mother as well. I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in my own coaching, personal development, and self-improvement. Why I don't want, here's another thing. I'll spend hundreds of thousands of my dollar. I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in personal development and self-improvement. I don't want you to get it for free. No, nope. I'm glad you have to pay. You don't get it any easier than the rest of us. That's another thing we got to talk about. The men who are the guys who went to Princeton, Harvard, Yale, there's a reason why so many CEOs and presidents and stuff come from these organizations. They bought their privilege. They bought their access. Well, guess what? You don't get what I got for nothing. I put in the money, the time, the effort, the blood, the sweat, and the tears, and I reap the benefit. The internet does not change that, gentlemen. I need you millennials to hear this in particular. Google is not God. The world has not changed. The rules have not changed. You just have a library at your fingertips. That's all. That's all you have. You have an immense library at your fingertips, but you still got to do the work. See, when Gab and people like myself were growing up, We had to go to the library and take a book and read and all that kinds. We had to do it slower. You got it all there, but it doesn't matter. It's just information. It's just information. Do you have a consultation package that covers this? Um, yeah. If you want to do one-on-one communications training, you can book an hour through my personal advice line. Personal advice line is all things that are related to non-business or image. So if you want to work for an hour on interpersonal communications, that's where it is. If you want to work on communicating and how to move better in the work environment, that's what it is also. Um, Now, as far as packages, communication packages, it's better to do by the hour. Um, I offer life coaching, but life coaching is something completely different. It tends to do with global issues. When you start talking about communication, it has to be very focused and very intensive. Virtual one-on-one consult. This is what covers your actual image. This is actually the best of both worlds. You get uh, my expert analysis of your image. You find out which one of the 9 style personalities, in my opinion, best works for you. You learn the basics or the fundamentals of a masculine wardrobe, and you get a snapshot of where um, you stand personally and professionally. See, oftentimes we are not. This is why you need coaches, because you're too close to seeing your own life. You're too close to being objective. We all need someone from the outside to look in and show us what we're too blind to see. Well, let me go ahead and help you out. If you can't, if you too broke to afford what quality, you can go find somebody to do it for $30. Don't come in my chat room being disrespectful like that. All that really means is, if you were in jail and gotta go, you're in jail up on murder charges. If you gotta get a public defender because you didn't, because your finances, hey, your life, and then somebody else can get Johnny Cochran. See, this is one thing that, and I have to use the word broke-minded, lower level, average, and below average thinking guys got to understand. It's not that things are expensive. You just don't make enough money. That's why I tell guys the first thing you need to do is get your head together. But the second thing is you need to work 60 hours a month, 60 hours a week minimum that you're getting paid for. Because if you cannot afford to pay for what you need, if you're living paycheck to paycheck, you don't have the money for a relationship, personal development, self-improvement. No one's going to give it to you. This world, you got to pay your way through it. That's why a Princeton education is worth more and is more valuable than a community college or state school. Do you deal with people who want long-term life coaching? Um, yes. That's long-term life coaching. More often than not, people are talking about that. It's called mentorship. I do have Patreon levels to where I'm offering mentorship. Um, Life coach. Let me explain something that most people don't get. Coaching is short-term focused, project oriented. It's short-term focused, task oriented, goal driven. It's about, you know, getting something done. It's not meant for like years. Mentorship is and it's formal. Mentorship is informal, it's global, it's high level. It's usually when the mentee reaches out or the mentor has something to share. It's about one end to another. Um, And there's a big difference in the coaching. A lot of mentorship is organic, but 98% of you guys will never have a mentor. You'll never find one. So it's better to hire a mentor. A mentor is kind of like an OG or an uncle or something like that. A coach, there's a reason Tom Brady is a six-time Super Bowl winning quarterback. Coaches. Got to take it. There you go. All right, folks, I got to get out of here. Appreciate everybody for showing up. Till the next time, talk at you later. Peace.